we've used Pet Blood Bank many times, and I'm very, very pleased and proud to say that we've saved many dogs' lives as a result of it. I think it's a fantastic service. How can an owner who may be interested in allowing their pet to donate, how can they actually become involved in this?
We have a website, petbloodbankuk.org, and you can register your dog. Your dog has to be between 1 and 8 years old, and it has to be over 25 kilos. And if they obviously have to be friendly. A lot of people's interpretation of that can be very difficult. So obviously there is...
Love bite.
Don't take that kind of blood in that manner.
It's just a nibble. It's just a nibble. He's being friendly.
He's being friendly.
When you say they've got to be over 25 kilos, so if you've got a Chihuahua that's really morbidly obese, will that do? Yeah.
I've yet to meet a 25 kilo Chihuahua. It's because of the amount of blood that we have to take. We use exactly the same collection bags as what you take in humans' blood. Mm-hmm. So it's the big blood bags. So obviously we have to take a certain amount because of the coagulation involved in that. So we unfortunately can't take small ones. We do have the facility in the kit to do whole blood transfusions if we're at a venue, and I know it has happened a couple of times where, particularly at the vet school in Edinburgh, they have come through and said, guys, we need blood now. Can you take some for us? And we'll take it straight away. And that has happened. But that's few and far between. That's not the norm. The norm is for us to take it and then take it back to the processing centre, and then for it to be ready to go out, and it goes out as quickly as we can take it in. It's quite ridiculous how much it is needed, and it's surprising also how many people in the general public, and especially in the dog world, don't know about us as well. So we're definitely trying to do a lot more promotion for people to know that your dog can be a lifesaver just like you when you go and get your blood taken.
Absolutely. And of course we're very used in the human field to having blood groups. And there are obviously blood groups, well, perhaps not obviously, but there are blood groups in the canine field as well. Do you want to talk a bit about that? Or
Yep, so we have two in dogs blood, which is positive and negative. And our negative one is the one that can be used for anybody. I mean, obviously every dog that comes to be donated gets blood typed, but in an emergency, you're not going to blood type the dog that it needs the blood. So negative blood can be given to any dog, and it's particular breeds that are prone to being of the negative status, things like greyhounds, Dobermans, Weimaraners. So obviously we prefer those kind of dogs to come and give their blood, but at the end of the day, if you're positive, then it's fine. Just we can still use that blood, but obviously the negative breeds, as we call them, are definitely the ones that we like to promote to get as many as possible as we can.
And most vets will have the means to look at the canine erythrocyte antigen positivity or negativity, so they can do cross-matching in practice, either by getting your kits, because the canine blood bank do provide CEA kits, or they can do these little insight on-slide agglutination tests if they need to, and that's really used more if you're unsure of the donor, or if you're doing perhaps a second or a third blood transfusion on the same dog, you need to be a little bit more careful.
The good thing about the blood bank is we test all our ones to see whether they are positive or negative, so we know exactly what we're getting, and then that means that when it goes back to the Loughborough, they can say, right, out of that session you ended up with 15 negatives and 2 positives, and then that can just get shipped straight back out again. And it's a lot of people do liken it to like the human, like O's and A's and all that stuff, and we do the same thing. We get them gifts and we get them little cards and stuff like that. Recently we have moved to the apps, so we're more trendier and doing it all on an app as well now. But we still give out bandanas, and we give out fifth donation little lapels that go in their bandanas, and they get leads and stuff like that. And that just goes down an absolute storm with everybody. A lot of people don't realise that they get all these wee gifts. Obviously, it's a bonus to the client as well, because at the end of the day, they're getting full haematology and biochemistry every year, because we have to check that the blood is perfectly good to be used for donation. So they're getting a lot of blood tests for free as a thank you. But at the end of the day, they're just quite happy that their dog's a lifesaver.